5 words, a hermetic formula that has survived the centuries, from the whispers of Egyptian initiation schools to the spellbooks of medieval alchemists. As above, so below. A sentence that most people repeat incomprehensibly, as if it were merely a poetic metaphor. But it's not a decorative sentence. It's a key. One that, correctly interpreted, opens the door to a truth that can completely change your perspective on existence. What if I told you that this sentence contains a hidden pattern that connects your mind to the cosmos? That what happens in the heights of the starry sky resonates in your cells? And that every experience in your life is actually a reflection of something greater? Something that happens on unseen planes? For far too long, this knowledge has been obscured, concealed, or diluted. Not because it is worthless, but because those who understand it free themselves from the illusions of the world. For those who truly understand how it is from above and from below no longer feel like victims of circumstance and begin to act as what they truly are, co-creators of the universe. In this video, we decode this principle. We go beyond the spiritual cliché and reveal the hidden truth behind these words. We'll explore its esoteric origins, its connection to ancient sages, its appearance in various spiritual traditions, and most importantly, I'll show you how you can apply this principle to transform your daily life. This isn't a play on words, but an alchemical formula. What is above in your consciousness, in your thoughts, in your subtlest vibrations, is projected downward into your tangible reality. And what happens deep within your soul echoes in the stars. Prepare yourself, for you will see life from a completely new perspective. You won't just see the reflection, you'll become the mirror yourself. To understand the true power of the phrase, as above, so below, we must delve into the depths of ancient thought, where philosophy, spirituality, and sacred science were not separate but interwoven into a single body of knowledge. This principle, known as the law of correspondence, is neither a modern invention nor a baseless symbolic metaphor. It is an eternal axiom, inscribed in the invisible stones of the universe. Its known origin goes back to the legendary emerald tablet attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, a figure who is both myth and symbol. Hermes Trismegistus is considered a synthesis of the Egyptian god Thoth and the Greek Hermes, and is the archetype of the wise man, the master who knows the secrets of heaven and transmits them to earth. This short but immensely powerful panel reveals to us that the below is like the above and the above is like the below, in order to perform the miracles of a single thing. This is no mere decoration. It's an alchemical formula. It states that everything in existence is connected by a network of vibrational similarity, mutual reflection. The macro reflects the micro. The cosmic shapes the biological. The spiritual structures the material. And this idea is not exclusive to Hermeticism. In the Vedic traditions of India, for example, we find the concept of Brahman and Atman, the individual soul. Atman is essentially identical with the cosmic soul, Brahman. That's you. It reminds us that the universe isn't out there. It's here within us. Plato also touched on this truth in his allegory of the cave. The objects we see in the world are merely shadows of higher, more ideal, and more perfect forms. The physical world is a faint reflection of a higher reality. What is above, pure ideas, creates what is below, material forms. Even in Jewish Kabbalah, the tree of life unfolds from the divine to the earthly through levels of emanation. Each sphere, each sephira, represents a stage of the descent of spiritual light until it becomes dense matter. The higher influences the lower, and the lower is a manifestation of the higher. If we look at nature, we find the same principle. The spiral of a galaxy is the same as that of a conch shell. The neural synapses of the brain resemble the cosmic filaments of the universe. Fractals, the golden ratio, the cyclical rhythm of the moon, and the human body. Everything follows a pattern, a vibrational pattern that repeats the divine in the earthly realm. Understanding this is not just philosophical. It is empowering because when the universe and you speak the same language, you can speak it, influence it, and shape it. As above, so below, but also as within, so without. Having explored the philosophical roots of this universal law, it's time to unravel its inner workings. For as above, so below is not just a mystical proposition. It's a spiritual technology, a practical formula that, when understood and applied, makes you more than just an observer of reality. It transforms you into its conscious architect. We begin with a powerful image, the universe as a mirror, but not just any mirror, but one that reflects, amplifies, and condenses. Every thought, every emotion, every inner state is reflected into this cosmic mirror, and what comes back to you is an amplified and condensed version of the same frequency. The world responds not to what you wish for with words, but to what you emit with your vibration. Imagine that every person is a transmitter. You are constantly sending out signals through your thoughts, your emotions, your deep beliefs. And the universe, this intelligent quantum field, this higher mind, responds with mathematical precision to the predominant signal you are sending out. You set the frequency. The universe reflects the form. This is where the law of correspondence comes into play. This principle forms the bridge between the invisible and the visible. It tells us that what happens on a higher level, the mental, spiritual, and emotional, is reflected on the physical plane. What is planted in the mind blossoms in matter. What you deny in your soul stagnates in your body. What you perceive as real in your imagination manifests itself with surgical precision in your environment. This principle also implies that external reality is nothing more than an interpretation of your inner state. When there's chaos outside, seek the disorder within. When there's harmony outside, celebrate the peace you've cultivated within. For nothing comes from outside. Everything originates within, and then it is projected onto the screen of life like a holographic film. And here comes one of the most important revelations. The universe doesn't distinguish between reality and imagination. It only responds to vibrations. If you feel fear, even when there is no real threat, you attract situations that justify that fear. If you feel gratitude, even if you don't yet have everything you desire, you will attract circumstances that confirm that gratitude. This explains why visualization is so powerful. Perceiving something as real on the inner level is enough for the substance of the universe to reproduce it on the outer level. But here lies the key that many overlook. Thinking alone isn't enough. You have to feel. Emotion is the fire that activates the mental image. Emotion is the language that understands metaphysical substance. When this is understood, the principle as above, so below ceases to be a philosophical idea and becomes a tool. You realize that everything, absolutely everything, can be reprogrammed. Your body, your relationships, your finances, your life purpose. Not by changing your appearance, but by transforming what happens in the higher levels of your consciousness. Because what's above isn't literally heaven. It's your inner world, your mind, your soul, your vibration. What's below is your physical reality, your environment, your everyday experience. And between the two, you are the channel, the living bridge, the conscious mirror. So far, we've understood that the universe acts like a mirror, reflecting the state of your inner world. But the principle as above, so below, doesn't just imply that there is a connection between different planes of existence. It also suggests that there is an order, a structure, a subtle architecture that unifies all levels of being. A sacred design that repeats itself over and over again, from the planetary orbits to the patterns of our thoughts. To understand the depth of this principle, we must imagine ourselves as a miniature universe, what mystics call a microcosm. Your body, your organs, your energy, and your consciousness are an exact miniature copy of the macrocosm, that vast cosmic web we call reality. But it's not just an analogy. It's a real, effective, and resonant connection. Want to know how your energy works? Observe your surroundings. Do you want to know what frequency your soul vibrates at? Examine the quality of your relationships. Do you want to know what you're projecting from your subconscious? Examine your recurring patterns. The universe isn't confusing. It's precise, but it operates in a language other than words. It works with symbols, rhythms, emotions, and frequencies. Therefore, even if you say, "I desire abundance," the universe often only returns more lack if you are vibrating inwardly with lack. It doesn't respond to your affirmations, but rather to your vibrational coherence. Here, a deeper dimension of the principle opens up, the fractal. Everything in the universe is fractal. It repeats itself on different levels. What is in the greatest is also in the smallest. Therefore, a negative thought is not just a thought. It is a fractal seed that, if sustained, can become a complete reality with its own physical, emotional, and spiritual effects. Likewise, an act of love, a sublime decision, an authentic affirmation is a seed. And when planted with intention, the substance of the universe begins to organize itself to reflect this pattern. Thus, the level of cause begins to descend to the level of effect. Every lasting change begins in the invisible. Why not teach this publicly? For true power comes with responsibility. When you know you are the creator of your reality, you can't blame anyone. You can no longer escape into the victim role. You must choose every thought, every feeling, and every action with reverence, because you're constantly writing the script of your life in real time. And this principle has an even more hidden aspect. The relationship between the levels is not linear, but simultaneous. What happens above and below is neither separated by time nor space. It happens simultaneously and permeates each other. Therefore, a profound inner change can bring about an immediate outer transformation. Not because it's magic, but because you touch the root, the level where everything begins. True alchemy, true magic, doesn't turn lead into gold. It transforms uncertainty into certainty, doubt into faith, fear into love. It transforms your inner world until what you project outward is as luminous as what you've created within. And then, when the planes align, the universe has no choice. It returns to you exactly who you are, knowing that as above, so below is more than just a phrase. It's a working code of the universe, a law that governs all levels of existence. Yet this knowledge won't change your life unless you apply it. Now that you know the principle, it's time to integrate it and transform this esoteric wisdom into sacred habits that shape your daily life. The first key is to create an inner sanctuary at the beginning of the day. Morning is not just the beginning of biological time, but the energetic threshold at which we consciously or unconsciously decide which universe we will be in today. This is why ancient people performed morning rituals, sun salutations, prayers, meditations, and sacred baths. This is also possible in a modern version. Incense or exotic mantras aren't necessary. This is enough. Leave your phone at home for the first 10 minutes of your day. Your mind is open and receptive. Instead of filling your mind with news or social media, feel a clear intention. Today, I will align myself with the frequency of love, abundance, and truth. Feel this energy even if only for a few minutes. Breathe, feel, be grateful. The second piece of advice is to read your surroundings as if they were a mystical mirror. Every situation, every person, every obstacle is a symbol that reveals something about yourself. If something irritates, confronts, or hurts you, don't react immediately. Ask yourself silently, what part of me is reflected here? What you see in others also exists within you, be it as a wound, a shadow, or dormant potential. Practice this symbolic reading, and you will see how each day becomes a sacred book, full of clues to your development. The third exercise is visualization before bedtime. As your body relaxes and your conscious mind begins to fade, your subconscious mind opens like an ancient door. In this moment, imagine clear and powerful images of what you wish to manifest. Not as distant desires, but as present reality. Feel it. Make them yours. Sleep with them. This reprograms your deep vibration and begins to shift the higher level from which everything is projected into your reality. The fourth piece of advice, perhaps the most formative, is to establish a connection between what you think, feel, and do. You can't desire abundance if you feel lack and act out of fear. You can't awaken love if you secretly despise yourself. Check your alignment every day. Am I reflecting what I want to attract? When mind, emotion, and action are aligned, magic happens. Don't forget, practice doesn't have to be perfect, just persistent. You aren't here to attain an idealized enlightenment, but to become the living bridge between heaven and earth, between the invisible and the visible, between the heights of your consciousness and the depths of your experience. And that bridge is you. You've come this far, and that's no coincidence. Because in the language of the soul, there are no coincidences. There are callings. And this video, this message, isn't just information you've absorbed. It's a threshold you've crossed. As it rises, so it also falls. 5 words. An eternal principle that now lives within you with new meaning. We explore its history. It has stripped you down to your vibrational essence. We feel it in your body, in your thoughts, in your surroundings. And now you can't go back, because when the truth penetrates, it displaces the illusion. And herein lies the deepest truth of all. There is no above without a below that reflects it. There is no spirit that does not strive to incarnate. There is no deity that does not wish to manifest itself through you. You are the sacred stage where the soul becomes flesh, where the cosmos becomes experience. The entire universe organizes itself, converges possibilities, and takes shape so that you can experience, feel, and traverse it. So what will you think about from now on? Will you continue to vibrate from the wound or from the healing? Will you project fear or radiate confidence? Will you repeat old patterns or write new lines into the great code of reality? The principle of correspondence places an immense responsibility on you to be the origin of your experience. It's not about waiting for something out there to change. It's about recognizing that everything you see, everything you experience, is an expression of your inner architecture. And that when you change the plans, the entire building changes. When you shift a line in your thinking, you change a scene in your life. When you reshape your vibration, you reshape your world. Commit to your path now. Take a deep breath. Look around and say, what I see is me. What I am changes what I see. And if this message has ignited a flame within you, don't let it go out. Subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the secrets history has tried to hide. Let me know in the comments which part of this principle resonated with you the most. Share this video with someone who is ready to look in the mirror and see their divine reflection. Because it doesn't end here. This is just the first door. And now that you've crossed that line, the universe will respond. Not because you've convinced it, but because you've finally remembered who you are.